yourself at all times. Good luck. Touch him up.
He has enough to test Bivol and find out
where Cuban amateurs go to learn their craft, and like amateur boxing, Barrera lived on La Finca for entire rest of the fight. So let's see what happens in round one.
Bivol get the momentum in his favor that early.
Opponents than Sullivan Barrera.
Barrera told us yesterday he can get down to work after he gets out of that first round.
3, 4, 5, just about every round they're going to fight.
First round as well, so I can understand why he wants to avoid that early cut.
Right now, Bivol is getting,
without a doubt.
And I'd say also he's the bigger puncher. Doesn't mean there aren't things your opponent can do with timing and using.
Something I sense that Barrera may have the heavier hands.
Vision. Max, as we get ready for Anna Stevenson, a guy who has been more or less hiding in Montreal, Sergey Kovalev is considerably more prominent on a global him 3 of the 4. That had to be about styles.
Was some really good stuff for an up-and-coming prospect or up-and-coming light heavyweight.
That sort of light heavyweight Gennady Golovkin, an athlete. Bivol in, and now a sense of urgency may emerge for Bivol as blood material were given.
Bivol seems to be, I agree, Roy, and offensively.
That's what makes him fun.
You know, we wanted questions answered about Bivol already the first time on our air.
And he's landing some solid shots at 12. Barrera has a title. The money was less.
Guys, did anyone see what core weaknesses in Bivol is possible, nor did I see a headbutt?
The referee didn't declare the headbutt, so it must have been a
spectacular amateur career for Bivol.
Both guys were coming up to throw a left hook. The heads left.
Anyone can be cut from a clash of heads like that.
Right, and if the rounds, Bivol is averaging 9 landed jabs per round.
The division, so he's faced with an opponent who's not cooperating, a responsible boxer puncher.
The most impressive thing about backing attacks with counter punches. That's the most impressive thing I've seen about him.
Jab in there over and over against Barrera. Barrera with
Jim, but also all the steam was off the Barrera right hand, and it wouldn't have landed with much.
And he does that when he comes
right eye. So we get a really better fighter than he's been in with before, and trying to take over the fight. It up.
All right. Time in.
I don't think he's cut though.
Orthodox fighters, skillful amateurs and pros.
When you get two guys thinking high offense like that, the heads will come together. It's coming forward.
Yeah, no one's scared in there.
No.
His game together coherently is Dmitri. A lot of offense here in this round. Already, our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman. Harold, how do you...
Really impressed. He's a really good fighter. That left jab is something. He lands both shots. He lands the left jab. He lands the straight right hand.
The better technician and lands with more pop. So
this has been a really good fight, but you feel like the whole time that we'll get back in the fight.
Yeah, Sullivan is showing a good job. He needs to. The question is, how can he win a round against a guy who...
opposition in front of him. So if Barrera was smart, he'd attack the bottom.
Upstairs.
He's running that risk anyway. See that? He's running that risk anyway, Jim.
And we see this a bit in boxing, just the way it works, because it's a one-on-one, but at least gives him a chance to win.
And that's what the body shot would do if he could do
for Sullivan Barrera. So Barrera's already lost the jabbing contest.
Trying to throw the left hook to the head, boom, there's the right hand. So what I'm saying, Jim, is no hook. I think made Sullivan reach that hand forward, which is a beautiful shot
to his fighter. Between rounds was his desire to block shot before he left the corner.
That was a good body shot.
He lands his left hook.
What I like about Bivol, besides the feet, that he throws it quick and it's over with. Like that. He said, boom, boom, boom. And
there's just a little seepage of blood at this moment. And a butt that Barrera got
to Kovalev, who we'll see in the main event tonight, and who we're very familiar with, because Bivol has had to, taste his own blood.
That's very discouraging for Barrera because he can't land a punch hard.
Training camp, just to get a look, just to size him up. Might have been on the belt line. There's a right hand up, ate it.
He did eat it, but I don't know how.
He's having a harder time mounting offense and landing punches.
Sitting ducks or steal targets. When you fight a guy like Bivol, who can move,
is maybe one of the most underrated extremely well. But Bivol, you see, has a very good understanding.
Sometimes be within your punching range, but he's not in a position where you can hit it. Another attempted body shot.
Body shot.
Now this time Barrera gets the right hand through to the body.
And that's round with a right hook upstairs. Where Bivol
as round 6 progresses.
Bivol, the nation, when it looks like the exchange is over, Barrera gives him something to think about.
Punches right now, too, it seems, Max. On some of them, not all.
Started to say the right hand was pretty good. Now there, Barrera throws here,
but their punches for the most part are about even now.
Barrera, there's a little give in Barrera.
Good body shot right there. He lands a left hook to the head right here. Great left hook right there.
7th, Bivol landing 115 out of 380 to Barrera.
Look at it, 6-0. 60-54, Dmitri Bivol. 6-0, Dmitri Bivol.
So Roy Jones at Sullivan Barrera. How would he construct a knockout?
Well, down to the body, then try to come up and land something big over the top. He can hold himself composed and together. He is a very compact.
Occasionally knocking Barrera back. There's another right hand for Bivol.
Barrera won it. Because if he wants it bad enough, he has a chance. Oh, good shot.
Still going forward, trying to get into position.
He knows he was in a real fight.
No, they've all been walkovers by and large. If we thought Bivol might have been slowing down a little bit in the last round, I want to...
Barrera's jab. First couple rounds, Jim, that would have cost him. Followed by a clean jab, followed by a good straight.
Bivol against Sullivan Barrera. Russia.
That was a good try for a good right hand to the
hard
body.
right hand to the body.
But it's that same kind of swelling.
Graphic toward the end of the last round that said that Bivol had landed 50 weapons, something that you've depended on in a lot of your other fights.
But Bivol also keeps his hands up very high, and he has quick hands.
Max Kellerman correct in saying that the Evander Holyfield.
He doesn't look like a hammerhead shark here. Right eye, swelling on the left side of the forehead, deep in a fight.
The fighter who got the worst of that headbutt was Sullivan. Like this, with the velocity and the style and the effect. Been past the 8th round only a few times. Again, tripling Barrera in terms of landed several fights.
I like that, Jim.
Also made Barrera throw a few right hands to the body for a second.
This is the first time in the fight that I think I've sensed that Bivol often, as he appears to try to get just a little breather, Bivol had to react.
Oh.
And now he comes back with a hard right hand of his own. Left hook landing over Barrera's shoulder at the big screen monitor and
fight last night. Good jab, buddy.
Savvy has kept him, upright in this fight.
6-0, Dmitri Bivol. Jimmy's just out boxing.
See why these kind of fights are important, no matter how good a prospect in terms of developing a prospect into a real world champ.
Bivol's physical qualities, the speed, the quickness, the punching power, in terms of technique or mental approach to make him better.
Just mental, as you see in round 6, 7, and 8, he slowed just a little. That I will go home and work on.
Because withstanding the damage for a layer of confidence.
Yeah, that adds an extra layer of confidence because now you know.
I think, Roy, you're right about staying as sharp. He went from boxer puncher who might knock you out with any shot.
A knockout here tonight. This guy is durable and tough.
No, I don't think it was yet.
Maybe Bivol should throw more to the body.
Had to, and with the headbutts taking place too, Jim, it's not smart for him to stick this exactly. You win the fight very big with headshots.
Last headbutt, it looked to me like Barrera was leading with his head a little bit.
A couple of good moments for Barrera
there.
Good
body shot.
268 wins and 15 losses as an amateur. Modestly, Max, but at the end of the day, you walk out.
But you know he's confident. And he's really, in obvious ways, had he just blown Barrera out. But Bivol seems to me to still be developing.
He didn't try to tell Andre that he had enough.
There's still room for improvement, but
good body shot.
What a body. A little bit younger, quicker, and more vibrant in there tonight.
For how many years you turn on Olympic boxing or amateur boxing, Bivol, Barrera, Beterbiev.
I asked Bivol in the meeting, I said, we always talk here in the United States same way about them, and he said, oh yes, absolutely. We start with...
You want to see more American champions, we have to get our amateur... Oh!
Is Harvey Doc going to let him continue? No. It's a stop.
Earlier about he went at how Bivol seemed to go into boxer mode.